We're live. Hi, it's Bill, the knee pain guru. Welcome to Thursday, February 27th, 2020. Today we're going to talk about issues with knees, knee pain, and scar tissue. If you have questions, please go over to the live chat and start entering them now. I'll address them after this short presentation. Please remember to give the video a thumbs up, like, and subscribe to my channel. Let's turn on notifications for future videos. We do these videos a couple times a week based on the topics that come into the live chat. Live chat comments during the week, I use them as topics for future videos. So the more you interact, the more I can help, the more I understand where you're at. Okay. Issues with knees, knee pain, and scar tissue. It seems like a lot, and that's kind of what happens. That's the dynamic what happens when pain hits. It seems like a big mountain. And in order to climb a mountain, it's one step at a time. It's like eating a whole elephant, one bite at a time. And in order to understand what we're dealing with, get our arms around what is happening in the knees or with scar tissue or with range of motion or whatever your diagnosis is, we have to understand what we're dealing with first. When we break it down into smaller chunks, it gets manageable and then it starts making sense in the brain. And this is part of the process, and I don't want to jump too far ahead. Whenever there's knee pain or you've had multiple surgeries or even a knee replacement surgery or injuries that have lasted over decades, what ends up happening is this is trauma. Essentially, it's trauma that builds up in the neurology of the body, in your knee, in your nervous system, in your brain, how you feel about all of it. And what ends up happening is when that pain hits, bam, we're in this place of confusion and overwhelm and frustration because we don't know which to do first. We don't know how to break it down. So this is part of the process, is undoing that trauma by breaking it down into manageable chunks. And if I just gave you 3 simple steps to do today, or what I do with my coaching clients, we break it down into 3 simple steps. Now you can handle it. Now you got it. You do those 3 steps and it sets you up to move forward from there. And each time you have 3 more simple steps that position you better and better, teaches your neurology to recover faster. Okay, I'm going to dig into the topic today. What is pain? We have to look at what pain is. Pain is like information. Pain essentially is information. It's your body telling you something. Could be in the knee, could be anywhere else in the body. Pain is information. And when we get out of the mindset of trying to get away from the pain, it hurts, I don't want to feel that, so I'm going to do something to numb it or put a shot in it so I don't feel the pain. What ends up happening is it puts off the inevitable. Think of like a car. Check engine light goes on. If I unplug the fuse so I don't see the light, that doesn't make the issue go away. You could put a Band-Aid over the top of the light so I don't see the light. Doesn't mean the problem isn't there. And this is what happens when the body experiences pain. It's there to tell you something. We don't come with a manual to understand how to interpret these signals, what the pain means, because pain can show up in a lot of different ways. You could describe it. If you'd like to put it in the live chat, how would you describe your pain? Could be burning, could be shooting, could be tight. It could be tender, ticklish, sensitive. The knee could feel full. It feels achy. It feels stiff. Everybody has a different description for the lack of a better term when we call it pain. So these are different signals that are being sent for you to interpret to understand what to do next. We don't have that instruction manual. Doctors don't have that strategy. They numb it, they drug it, they cut it out. So they don't really have anything to give you the tools to begin to understand what this pain means and what your strategy is moving forward from there. So, what is pain? Pain is information from the nervous system, from your neurology, as to where to go, what to do, how to do it. You could have pain because you're dehydrated. You could have pain because you ate too much cake. You could have pain because you drank too much wine. You could have pain because you exercise too much. You could have pain because you exercise not enough. You could have pain because the body is holding on to a tension pattern to protect itself from feeling more pain. I know that sounds kind of crazy. It does. The body continually moves away from pain to a position of comfort. And a lot of times the pain that we feel would be worse if the body wouldn't compensate for it. It's what happens whenever we get into an accident. The body goes into a state of shock to shut down the input so we could begin to adjust to the changes that have just taken place because of the accident. If we were to experience everything from that accident, bam, semi hits our car, we die. That's the reality of it. So our body has these built-in internal mechanisms to keep you alive. And we need to understand the bigger picture of that. So what is pain? We got that. What is knee pain? So knee pain is a specific type of pain that your body is telling you there's something going on in your knee. Not all knee pain is created equal. You could have pain in your kneecap. You could have pain in the back of your knee, the inside of your knee, the outside of your knee. You can have pain when you go upstairs. You could have pain when you go downstairs. You could have pain standing. You could have pain sitting. So there are these different tension patterns that are displayed in the body that result in pain in different areas. Pain moves. So based on your diet, based on the wine you drank or the cake that you ate or the exercise that you did or didn't do, it can lead to pain in specific parts of your body. So, and talking about knee pain, right? Here it comes, knee pain. So we understand pain. What is pain? We understand what is knee pain. It's pain in a specific area of the body that's giving us a specific understanding of the tension pattern that the body is showing up with. And then a lot of times what happens is the body will produce scar tissue as a result of the pain that it experiences. So why does the body produce scar tissue? Think of it. Cut your finger. It bleeds. You put a Band-Aid on it. It heals. And all of a sudden, it's like hard underneath there. Scar tissue is formed. What is the body doing? It's a Band-Aid. The body produces scar tissue as a Band-Aid to protect the body from whatever it has already experienced. Cutting your finger, you could have surgery, the incision from the surgery. It could be an injury that you sustained, and the body produces scar tissue as a way to limit the range of motion in the knee so the knee doesn't injure itself further. Is making sense? Feedback is helpful here. Let me know what you got as far as going on with your knees, your diagnosis, as far as knee pain, scar tissue. Enter it in the live chat over there. Give the video a thumbs up, like and subscribe to my channel, turn on notifications, share this video with your friends and family members that limp. I'll appreciate you. So, scar tissue is like the body's own Band-Aid. It produces the scar tissue as a way to protect the knee, in this case the knee, from getting injured further. So, what ends up happening is most people want to push through all of these things. They're taking the same mentality, whether it be exercise or physical therapy or otherwise, to push through the pain. You hear use it or lose it. And you absolutely got to use your joints. You got to move. It's important to be healthy. We have to balance that with the amount of pain we're putting the body in when we exercise, when we move. If we push the body too much out of its, push the body too much when it's already starting out in pain, you're never going to get out of pain. That's like a gimme. If you really think about it, if you start out in pain and you try to push your body through pain to get out of pain, you'll never get there. It's never going to happen because it's making the situation worse. You have a pattern that is developed in your knee that is protecting you from injuring that knee further. The more we try to push through that neurological pattern that has been set in from the accident, the injury, the surgery, the trauma, the more it embeds it in the neurology, and it is going in the exact opposite direction to get you out of pain, or to break down scar tissue, or to increase range of motion. It's all tied together. So, how do we do that? How do we do things differently if what we have is RICE therapy, rest, ice, compression, elevation? So you're sitting on your butt, not doing anything, and now we're exercising that's causing pain. There's something missing. There's a step in there that nobody is talking about except me. It's about creating comfort and changing the neurology in the knee and in the body so the body can unwind and let go of the tension patterns that are creating the pain when you move. It's a critical step. It's a crucial step in the process. And what does that lead to? That leads to more movement, more mobility, more strength, ease of movement, like all of those things that you want to get to. You can get to easier as a result of beginning to change the neurology in the knee through comfort. And this will make sense. We don't need an MD, PhD level understanding of the body to go, well, duh, that makes sense. Now we have all the science to back that up. In the studies done by osteopaths, positional release, strain, counter strain, different modalities of body work that focus on creating comfort in the body in a position of comfort that changes their neurology. So there is that science and support. But what we need to do is begin to get it into your knee, to teach you how to do it. So you could begin to create the comfort in the area of your knee that hurts when it hurts. It's a different level. It's a different game. Because what happens? The pain moves, the pain changes. How the pain feels in the morning is not going to be how the pain feels in the afternoon or right before you go to bed. The pain changes. It changes if you're dehydrated, if you've eaten food or you haven't eaten food, or the food you've eaten is good or the food you have eaten is bad. There's a lot of variables that go into your experience of pain in the knee. What we need to do is pull these factors into your awareness, into your understanding, so when the pain strikes, when you're hiking, you're golfing, or playing tennis, or at the office, or at home, or you're trying to play with your kids or your grandkids, now you have a tool to bring into the equation to go, oh, this is exactly what I need at this point. So now I could have a different experience in my life. Crucial. It's key. It's important to understand that we're playing on a different level. This isn't like, oh, do some leg extensions, leg curls, and leg raises. and wish and hope that the knee pain is going to go away. That doesn't cut it anymore. If it cut it, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be Google searching or YouTube searching online for a solution for your knee pain. There's plenty of coined responses in blog posts and things out there as far as, well, taking a supplement or wear this knee brace or rub this ointment on your knee or whatever it is. This is next level stuff. And it doesn't matter what your diagnosis is. Absolutely go to a doctor. Make sure nothing is broken and torn. The doctors play a crucial role in this process. This is on the other side of your due diligence in addressing, so you know what's going on with your knee. Something is broken or torn, it doesn't mean you necessarily have to have surgery. It means the approach is different. The strategy is different. And we can't straighten up the living room until we turn on the lights. The diagnosis is part of turning on the lights. So it's part of that equation. Questions, please enter those in the live chat. If you're not going to answer questions, ask questions. Then give the video a thumbs up, like and subscribe to my channel. Turn on notifications for future videos as I do these a couple times a week. Explaining this big piece. If your head's not in the right place to understand this information, accepting that what you've been doing isn't working, well, can't really do a whole lot. However, if you like an action step, here's your next action step. Head over to the kneepainguru.com website and get on the newsletter list. We send out daily emails that'll help you shift your mindset towards this. Because a big part of the process of getting out of pain is to be in the right mindset. If you're not in the right mindset, towards this. Because a big part of the process of getting out of pain is to be in the right mindset. If you're not in the right mindset, if you're doing the wrong things in the wrong order with the wrong timing, you're not going to get any better. And if what you're doing is causing you more pain, it's not getting you better. And if your improvement is incremental, then this is a different game. We're talking about relief you could feel instantly because we're working with the reflexes that fire at 286 miles per hour. Okay, what do we got here? Carol says, what can I do to increase range of motion after patella surgery? 1 year now. Carol, the first thing I do is head over and get on my newsletter list. That's a big piece, is doing that. I'm running a special this week on a 2-week private coaching with me. If you were on my list, you would have had a link right below this video in the email that I sent out that would take you to that link. So that's your first action step. Big thing is creating comfort. You got to create comfort. Comfort is key. If the knee doesn't begin, we have to teach the knee to learn how to be comfortable. If the knee isn't comfortable, it doesn't want to bend. The patella doesn't want to move. There's usually clients that I've worked with patella surgery, there's a couple dynamics going on. The patella doesn't disengage until the leg is fully straight. And if there's a tension pattern going on between the femur, which is the bone in the upper leg, and the tibia and the fibula, which is the bone in the lower leg, the kneecap doesn't engage. If there's a tension pattern, the leg bends like this, but if there's a tension pattern where it's only going so straight, not completely straight, what ends up happening is it creates a tension pattern in the kneecap that doesn't allow the kneecap to disengage. So we have to look at the pattern that's going on in the femur. We have to look at the pattern that's going on in the tibia and the fibula. We also have to look at the pattern that's going on in the patella. That's a little myopic. We also have to look upstream and downstream, meaning the hips and lower back, as well as the ankles and the feet. Is that making sense, Carol? Okay, any other questions? Remember, give the video a thumbs up, like and subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, forward this link of this video, share with your friends, share it on Facebook, share it on social media, wherever else you're social. And yeah, you're welcome, Carol. And this is part of like the clarity. We have to look at all the options of what's going on in order to get that strategy, to develop that strategy to move you forward. Because if we don't have the right strategy, I mean, and I'll go back to what I was saying before, if we don't know if something's broken or torn in the knee, if you haven't gone to the doctor to get a diagnosis, and we think that the knee is fine, mechanically sound, but something is torn, you can create comfort, but catching a meniscus or tweaking a ligament in the knee will cause pain again that will have nothing to do. It's just a different dynamic. Like, it's the mistake that I made. I dislocated my left knee 4 times. And I tore 2 pieces of meniscus in my left knee. So by the time I went to the doctor, and I'm saying that to you to avoid making the mistakes that I made. Go to the doctor, get a diagnosis. Once you have the diagnosis, like, you know, Carol, what's going on with your knee? You had patella surgery. So the doctor fixed what was broken or torn in the knee, which is important. If something is broken or torn in the knee, the doctors play a huge role, a key role in the process. I'm talking about on the other side of the surgery, or you've gone to the doctor and they can't find anything wrong with your knee. They say it's normal or it's fine. If it's normal or fine, that means what is small is only the width of an eyelash, which is a nerve. And we can begin to change the neurology to get the pressure off of those nerves in the knee to relieve the pain. Okay, Russ. 4 meniscus scopes and now diagnosed with moderate arthritis, always sore and uncomfortable. Any advice? Yes, go over to my website and get on my newsletter list. Begin working with me. Arthritis, all diagnosis of arthritis is dehydrated joint. Ask your doctor or look on your sheet. You know, the doctors give a sheet. When they do a diagnosis, you'll look down there and it'll say moderate arthritis, dehydrated joint. And what ends up happening is the joint gets dehydrated because of the trauma that it's been through. So you had 4 meniscus scopes. Each one of those, just in and of itself, is a trauma to the knee. So what does the knee do when it experiences a trauma? It tenses up to protect itself. That tension that is in the joint that you could feel right now, Russ, as you're listening to me talking, is your body tensing up to protect itself. It's a neurological state the body takes on to protect its experience of the trauma. What does that do? Think of a wet sponge. Think of you got a sponge, wet sponge, you put it in your hand. The meniscus is supposed to be wet. It's supposed to be hydrated. And you take that wet sponge and you squeeze it. What's going to happen? It's going to squeeze out the water in the sponge. So this is what happens in your knee when you experience pain, when it has a trauma. It squeezes the joint and it squeezes out the synovial fluid, which lubricates the joint. Now the meniscus gets dehydrated. The meniscus gets dehydrated, and what ends up happening is now the meniscus gets brittle. So it's a lot easier to tear because the joint is dehydrated. Is this making sense, Russ? So what we do, by beginning to relax the tension in the joint, aka creating comfort, the joint relaxes. Now the water that you're drinking has the opportunity to get into the joint to lubricate the joint. Now, when I talk about creating comfort, I'm not talking about sitting on the couch watching television. I'm talking about actively working with the intrinsic movement of the joint to get the pressure off of the nerves to change the neurological state. Replacement, but still having pain. Is there anything I can do? Yes, there's lots of things you can do. We have to, once again, if you missed the beginning of this, you definitely want to go. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Watch the beginning of the video. We want to understand how to get specific about what's going on in the knee. When you have a knee replacement, it gets infinitely more complicated, but it doesn't mean you can't get the knee out of pain. I've had work with clients who have had knee replacements. They were doing the manipulation under anesthesia. The doctors were doing the manipulation under anesthesia, and the client would be in pain. And we started working with the neurology in the joint to change the tension patterns that were going on. The knee got more comfortable, and Mary, actually, that's the one that's coming to mind right now, out of Louisiana. She got out of pain. So the thing to do at this point, head over to my website, get on the newsletter, begin working with one of my programs. This week I have a special that's going on. It's just working with me for 2 weeks to give you a sample. It's like the sample platter. Try it out. If it works, awesome. And honestly, all clients that show up and do the work, they get change. They experience change in their knee. It may not be the complete change that they're wanting and hoping for in that 2-week period. Many times someone who has had a knee replacement, or I had a woman who emailed me the other day, had 8 knee surgeries over 40 years. And she's looking to see how much that's going to help in a 2-week period of time. That's a ridiculous amount of trauma the body has experienced. We have to temper our expectation that if you sprained your knee last week and you got it checked out by a doctor, yeah, maybe an ebook, a couple of videos will help you with that. But when we're talking about a level of trauma that's been going on for decades, or like Russ, 4 knee scopes, or a knee replacement surgery where you're having the bones in your leg cut off and replaced with plastic and metal, that level of trauma is huge. And we have to understand that ebook may give you some results, but you're playing checkers when we need to be playing chess. It's important to understand that. And you need a program that is the right tool for the right job. Is that making sense there, DS? Grand? Anybody else have any questions? Please put those in the live chat. Remember to give the video a thumbs up, like and subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for future videos, as I do these a couple times a week. If you have questions, you're just joining us, enter your questions over in the live chat, and I will address those. Awesome. Head over to thekneepainguru.com. I put the link in the top of the live chat that you can get on my newsletter list to begin to understand this mentality, this thinking of creating comfort and changing the neurology in the knee to start training your knee how not to be in pain. Remember to share this video with your friends, family members, loved ones, especially those that limp and complain about their knees all the time. They'll enjoy this. And let's see, what else? Next video, what are we gonna do here? Next video is gonna be Monday, March 2nd. Is it Monday, March 2nd? Yes. Monday, March 2nd. Be our next video. And those videos, those who are watching the replay, are based on the comments that are put in the live chat, as well as those are watching the replay, those comments. I use those as content or topics to talk about for future videos. Okay, we've been on here 30 minutes now. That's a good chunk. Okay, appreciate your videos and info. I'm looking to relieve arthritis and scar tissue. Yes, JL. The big thing, and what I see people doing, what I see many people doing is, like, I totally get it. I'm this guy on the internet, the knee pain guru. I'm in the mountains of Western North Carolina. How could your program help me if I can't see your knee in person? And I get that piece. But if you think about it, what you've been doing hasn't been working. So this is something outside the box. And I personally had 4 knee dislocations. My left knee dislocated it 4 times, had 2 pieces of meniscus taken out of my left knee. By all intents and purposes, I should have arthritis and I should be a perfect candidate for a knee replacement. I'm going to be turning 49 this year. That happened when I was 28 when I dislocated my left knee the first time, and I was 29 when I dislocated it the 4th time. Traumatic experience, something I wouldn't recommend anybody to do, which is why I say, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, go see a doctor so you know what's going on with your knee. Don't wait till the 4th time and then go like I did. But what happens is the moment that the pain strikes, and it's a significant level of pain, there's a tension pattern that the body takes on that we need to change, that needs to be different other than what it is. And what I found is a lot of people, because of the skepticism, I mean, the internet's kind of like the Wild West. You don't know who to trust. You don't know if the program's going to work. I know there's layers and levels of stuff that's going on, which is why I offer a money-back guarantee with all the products and programs that I offer, based on you putting a legitimate effort into it. Like, you got to do it. People tend to be kind of lazy. And we're working against the nervous system that doesn't want to change. Like, it's holding on to that pattern to protect you, that pain in your knee. Your neurology is holding on to a pattern to protect you from getting injured further. You have to understand that. You got to zoom out, look at the bigger picture of what's going on with the knee. When we understand that, we're working not only against the knee, we're working against the psychology that's going on in your brain. Because the longer you've been in pain, the more it's changed how you think and how you feel. If you look back before the knee injury, if you could imagine, because it was hard when I'd been in pain for 6 months or a year, even after the surgery. I couldn't remember what my knee felt like when it was normal. I wanted it to be normal. I didn't know what it felt like to be normal. And this is an important distinction to understand of how it's changed your mind. If your mind can get a vision of how the knee the experience of the knee when it felt normal, then you can shoot for it. You can emulate that. Well, when we can't remember because we've been in pain for so long, it's like there's this block. We can't get there. So we have to understand the pain has changed how we think. It also changes how we feel. I was short, angry, frustrated with the people around me. And it wasn't even their fault. They couldn't do anything. I'd snap at them. Well, you knew what I meant and all that. And what I'm saying is that it's changed you on so many levels that it's difficult to understand and get your arms around it. And that's why you need my help. When you understand that I could point out these things that you can't see because you're in the forest, you can't see the trees because it's so much around you. and to go and to be like, I'd be like, JL, you got to turn a little bit northwest, 3 degrees northwest. Now start walking that way. And you're going to run into something. You're going to have a challenge. Something's not going to work right. And it isn't like the program hasn't worked. We just need to take that as information to go, oh, well, we need to course correct and adjust a little bit, like a sailboat. And now we course correct, and then you continue moving forward. But you're moving in the right direction. I can't remember. I can't imagine ever feeling, I know. And here's the piece. So, JL, this is good. This is really good. Okay. You can't remember what it's like to be out of pain. So what we do is we give you, if we were to erase all the pain today and like put you back into that old place, you get injured again. Why? Because your nervous system isn't ready for that type of change all at once. It's just as bad as when you get into a car accident and your neurology changes and you go into a state of shock. When we create comfort in the neurology, we're doing shock in reverse, but in a positive way. So we have to do the changes gradually. And we do them gradually. Why? To make them permanent. We don't want this to be, oh, well, my knee feels good today, Thursday, February 27th, and tomorrow it's going to hurt again. No, we want to change it to the permanent, that the quality of your pain continues to change and improve. You teach your neurology to recover faster. Do I have a clinic in North Carolina? I do not. I do everything online. I am working actually, for those that are interested, I am working on a nonprofit to help athletes and former athletes with chronic pain. That is in the works, and we are looking for, we're getting the website up and running and looking for grants and looking for those that are interested in helping volunteer with that. So that is something that's kind of going on in the background, like way over there. But it's not like on the forefront at the moment. So I do not have a clinic set up. Although, now this is an option. If you did want to work with me, DS, I have worked with clients that have come into Asheville, and we usually find I have some friends, body workers and chiropractors and things like that do work, and we can get some space and we can work together if that's something that you wanted to do. If you want to send me an email, bill@thekneepainguru.com, and I have some packages. They're one-day packages that we would work together for a 4-hour or an 8-hour block of time throughout the day. And then it also, I throw in my group coaching program, which is called Knee Club. So if anybody is interested in that, send me an email, bill@thekneepainguru.com, reference coaching in person in Asheville, and I'll send you a special link to be able to schedule that if that's something you'd like. But it's not something that I put out there for the general public because, well, I guess it is in the general public right now. Point of what I'm saying is it's not something that I advertise because it's a little bit of coordinating on my part. It's more work, and then it's more intensive because I worked with a woman out of Hawaii last November. She came in town, and what we do, you would sit down and you would have already had a template. At the moment you sign up, you get a quick start guide. Everybody gets the quick start guide to begin working with the program. And the quick start guide is a template that I've worked with thousands of people over the past 12 years. And I see that they deal with like the same things. So start with this, and then you get an experience of what you notice, how the pain moved, how the pain changed, how things are different. What you notice, what you don't notice, is going to be feedback to me as to how we go forward. So what I did with Linda is we started with which order to do them in. So you have the knee replacement. So we would get very specific on, well, where does your knee hurt the most? Because we address what hurts the most. That's going to be the highest leverage of getting your nervous system to drop down and get into a different neurological state so your body can recover faster. It's significantly different. It's very strategic in terms of understanding where your knee is at, and how we approach it throughout the day. So Linda and I worked. We addressed, the top 3 that was going on, and there was a follow-on from that, because your neurology is firing at 286 miles per hour. It's integrating and adjusting and changing to this comfort we're creating in your knee. And now you're going to have a different experience. You're going to notice something different. You can notice something going up into your hip and lower back, or going down into your ankle, your foot. And then that's how we worked throughout the day. We worked at the next spot that was grabbing her attention, that was causing her discomfort or tension or stiffness or tightness, or however she described it. And we worked in person that way. Now, I'm saying this to you, that's what it is like to work with me in person. It's the same thing if it's the group coaching program that I offer, which is called Knee Club. We do the same thing. We're just doing it in a private Facebook group, and we're doing it on conference calls twice per week. The private coaching, where I work with clients one-on-one, we're doing it on the phone or on Skype. So it's just that person one-on-one with me, and we're figuring it out. It's the same pattern, just in person, the feedback's faster because I'm sitting there with you. I can see your body language. I can see where you're questioning things. I could see, if we need to take a break and you need a little bit of water, we need to take a break, we need to go to lunch, we need some food, whatever it is. We understand in time what's shifting and changing in your knee. Private coaching, we're doing it once a week. The group coaching, we're doing it twice a week, but it's a group of people. And I've set it up over the past 12 years. This seems to be the formats that work the best in terms of being able to help people that are not in person, because I work with clients around the world. I have clients in New Zealand and Australia, in Europe, South America. So does that help? Better understanding? Send me an email, bill@thekneepainguru.com, and we'll you let me know which link you want, and I'll send it to you. Any other questions? Anything? Anyone? As you could tell, I could talk. But it's actually interesting. I find the body fascinating because it's really, really amazing to watch it shift and change as it lets go of tension. My attention span is pretty short, and to be able to, I've been studying this now 21 years. I've been involved in the work that I do, 12 years online, specifically helping people with pain, with knee pain. So, and then once again, the nonprofit that's now expanding out to the entire body. But, okay. I'm going to call it a wrap. It's almost 45 minutes today. That's a long one. I thank everybody for showing up. I thank those that participated and asked questions. It always makes it more interesting when that dialogue happens. It's able to get information out of me because there's a lot to talk about as far as knee pain, but it's knowing specifically wherever you're stuck at allows me to custom tailor the message to understand how it's going to make a difference for you where you're at. The pain's in your kneecap or the back of your knee, or you had a knee replacement, or whatever your diagnosis was, we could develop a strategy to get you out of pain. So, okay. Thank you so much. This is Bill Paravano, the Knee Pain Guru, asking you once again to once again, give the video a thumbs up, like and subscribe to my channel, turn on notifications for future videos, and share this with your friends and loved ones that are limping around. Bill Paravano, the Knee Pain Guru, going to sign off for today. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you on the next video.